Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another breakdown. We're going to be breaking on UFC Vegas 101. This is the UFC's first card back this year. We're going to go back to the Indiana Dungeon, starting off 2025 in Indiana Dungeon. I mean, doesn't get any better than this, right? And let's get back to the breakdown. So, Dern versus the Ribas is the first card back this year, and these two were supposed to fight each other on the 14th of December last year in 2024. But I don't know what happened there. So now they're running it. I guess it needed the UFC maybe needed a main event. I mean, I'm still wondering why they couldn't find anyone else to headline Apex card. I mean, like you can probably just use anyone pretty much you to headline Apex card. But Dana loves MMA. I mean, he loves making WMA as a main events. I mean, he just loves it. I mean, there's nothing else like it for Dana White than making WMA main events. I mean, 5 round main events. I mean, I don't even know why we do this every year, but we do this. I don't know why we do this. But anyways, guys, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, man. We're getting really close to 3K subscribers, so make sure you guys hit that sub button and help your boy get 3K. So. And I'm gonna be live for this card, guys. I'm gonna be this card is streaming on my birthday on January 11th, so I'll be live on my birthday. We're gonna get litty. We're gonna have fun, and make sure you guys like, subscribe, so you guys can keep you guys can get notifications of when I go live. So let's break down this card. Break down this card now. I don't want to like just keep yapping, over and over, but let's break down the card. We got a bunch of new matchups on this card. So Andreas Gustafsson was supposed to fight Preston Parsons. Gustafsson was supposed to make his UFC debut. No, he's out. I mean, he's not fighting on this. He's not making his UFC debut this week anymore. Now he's fighting. Now Parsons gonna be taking on Jacoby Smith, another guy on the contender series from last year. Jacoby Smith had a pretty good performance on contender series, where he was able to get a second on ground and pound finish over a Canadian. Nurlo Aliev was supposed to fight as Moses. That fight's canceled now. They're not fighting each other anymore. Now, Solecki is the one coming in a short notice, taking on Nurlo Aliev. That should be a good matchup. I'm happy Solecki, someone is stepping up to take on Aliev, because Aliev hasn't fought in 2 years. So imagine this fight being canceled and the UFC not being able to find anyone for him to fight. Would have been really bad. We got Fatima Kline down at strawweight at her natural weight class. Now she's gonna be fighting Dudakova. She made her UFC debut up a weight class at 125. I think it was against Jasmine Jasovicius. So that should be a better matchup for her at 115. We also got Bruno Lopes, who has a knockout win over RoboCop, like back in 2014. He's gonna be fighting Magomed Gadzhiyasulov. You guys know what's crazy about Gadzhiyasulov? He came in with his buddies on contender series. A bunch of guys out of Bahrain, right? I think it was like three guys out of Bahrain on contender series. And let me see if I can pull up the card. It was in contender series. I mean, 2023. So there was like a bunch of them. There was the Murtaza Artello. This guy had a lot of hype on him, and he's like a minus 500, minus 400. I think there. Hugo Silva, he was on that card. I mean, Ghazi was the only one that won out of all his homies. I mean, Raymond Magomed. Well, I can't say it's because I'm gonna have an aneurysm or like autism trying to pronounce it. Magomed Aliev. I think Magomed Aliev. Okay, there we go. Yeah, Rufi knocked out Magomed Aliev. That's where people really got they're like, oh, this guy Rufi is this dude. He's definitely that guy. Yeah, Gadzhiyasulov, he beat up that punching bag Jose Medina. This guy just I don't even know how he's in the UFC now. I'm still shocked that he's still in the UFC. This guy's like 0-2 in the UFC and he's still in the UFC. I don't know how. Like they're gonna have to give him someone that's not durable. But like this guy shouldn't even be in the UFC. I mean Jose Medina, he just lost another 30-27 to I think he lost another 30-27 to Jack Reese. I mean he was fighting UFC 311. We got Nesta Kareckaite. The queen of split decisions. I mean, basically Kareckaite. She has I think she's got like 4 or like 3 split decisions. It's pretty crazy. And obviously, Jacoby Smith should be a good matchup there at 170. We're gonna see what Jacoby Smith has in his UFC debut. Probably I don't know. Would I say it's a tough matchup for Preston Parsons? Because I do think Jacoby Smith can wrestle. I actually thought Gustafsson was gonna be able to defend takedowns against Preston Parsons. Gustafsson has pretty good takedown defense too. Jacoby Smith, I reckon he's gonna take Preston Parsons on maybe. Well, that should be a good matchup there. We got Thiago Moisés taking Trey Ogden. Marco Tulio making his UFC debut, coming off spinning back kick to the liver TKO on contender series. He had to go through contender series twice because he beat UFC Bulgaria glory kickboxer. I think that was last year, maybe 2023. But they just didn't. Dana White just didn't want to sign him because he just wasn't able to go out there and finish him right. So they didn't give him a chance back then. But he got to finish this year. Last year, I mean, in September. So he was able to get signed to the UFC finally. Jose Johnson moving down to 125. He's looked pretty good. He had a pretty good weight cut at 125. He's fighting Felipe Bunes, who came in on I don't know if he came in short notice. No, I think Felipe Bunes was the one that was in full camp, maybe, and Joshua. Yeah, he had a fight coming up with he had a fight with Jelga Jumagulov, or maybe that wasn't the one. Okay, so it was Joshua. It was him versus Joshua, and obviously he had a okay first round. I mean, he got like I think got like one takedown on Joshua early, but wasn't able to do much. Just kind of gas out later. But yeah, this is gonna be a fun matchup. This is gonna be a good matchup for sure. Soriano versus Medic should be a fun matchup. Soriano, since moving down 170, he's looked a lot better at 170. His last fight, he definitely looked a lot better at 170. We got Austin Bashi, guys. We got Austin Bashi taking a Christian Rodriguez. We're gonna see what Bashi has, right? Bashi has a lot of hype coming in. We bet him on Dana White in the series this last year. I mean, I keep saying this year, but it's last year now. We took him by submission at plus 110, so we made some money on Bashi there. Yeah, this is gonna be a whole different matchup for Bashi. I feel like than the guy that he fought on Adrian Ramos. I think that's the guy that he fought in contender series. We got Chris Curtis versus Roman Kopylov. That's a phenomenal match. That's one of my favorite matchups on those card. That's gonna be strikers delight there. We got Abdur Razak Alhassan, another striker matchup, guys. I don't think these guys are gonna wrestle at all. I don't think Chris Curtis is Kopylov gonna wrestle, and I don't think Alhassan and Almeida are gonna wrestle. So this is gonna be these two matchups. I'm happy they're on the main card. Santiago Ponzinibbio taking on Carlson Harris. Carlson Harris coming off a pretty vicious KO loss to Chaos Williams. But that's Chaos Williams, right? Chaos Williams has crazy amount of power. I mean, Chaos Williams is probably some of the most power at 170, next to Carlos Prates. I was calling for the match. I was calling for Carlos Prates versus Chaos Williams. I mean, I think they're trying to do battle versus Chaos Williams maybe, but I don't know. Prates versus Chaos Williams would have been pretty sick in all fairness. But yeah, let's give you guys the picks, guys. We're gonna start with the first prelim on the card. We're gonna move over to the main card. As always, guys, if you guys enjoy the content, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and also become a member if you guys wanna go one step further and support the channel. I appreciate all the members already. We got like 40 members on the channel. Appreciate you guys all. And let's start with the first fight. So Joe Solecki is obviously coming in short notice. Aliev, I'm happy that Aliev is still on this card. Because I don't know if they weren't able to find anyone for Aliev, like when was the probably weren't gonna see Aliev come back for another like 6 months or like another year. So I'm actually happy that the UFC matchmakers were able to find someone for Nurlo Aliev. So Aliev is gonna be the better wrestler, guys. And I was gonna pick him over Asmuz. Asmuz. I actually I watched tape on Aliev's first his last 3 or 4 fights. And the way he's been winning fights is by taking guys down, and like on the feet is really low volume. Doesn't really throw enough volume on the feet, but striking is actually pretty good. I think striking is okay. I wouldn't really call him a striker. I want to call him a wrestler because he's a wrestler at his base, mostly wrestler. And I do think he's got really good wrestling. The only reason that last fight, I mean, like 2 years ago, that's crazy that it's already been 2 years. But the only reason that fight was a majority decision was because the first round was a 9-9. Because I think Always was complaining that Ali was grabbing his gloves and when he was on top of him. So the referee gave him, even though you couldn't see from the replay, the camera angle, you couldn't really see that was he really grabbing his gloves or was Always just lying. But yeah, that beating Alvarez like that, man, that should have been 30-27 almost. Honestly, in all fairness, that should have been 30-27. 2 judges had it 27-27, I think, or 29-27. Yeah, it was 2 judges had it 29-27. That's the way I had it. I had it unanimous 29-27. So like I guess one judge had it 28-28, which is really shocking. I don't know how you can get 28-28. Or maybe it was a different fight that I'm thinking about. But I know there's one judge that had it really close. I know one judge had it like 28-28 or something like that. It was really close. One judge was definitely tripping there. Guys, I am gonna pick Aliev. I'm gonna pick Aliev. High confidence Aliev. I'm actually kind of shocked that these odds are like lower than his odds against Asmuz. He was like plus, I think it's like minus 450, minus 500 against Asmuz. Now he's minus 390 now, so he's almost minus 400 here. But I think it makes sense, man. Solecki doesn't really have any power on the feet, so it's not really going to be presenting a lot of dangers to Aliev if Solecki can defend his takedown. Then now Solecki kind of wants to be on the ground. He wants to be on his back. So I think this kind of flip plays into Aliev's game more than Solecki. Whereas Solecki, maybe he wants Aliev to be on top of him, and he's where he can look for armbar or like other submissions. But I don't think he's gonna get a submission like that over Aliev. I am gonna pick Aliev. Maybe ground and pound. I think Aliev ground and pound is not the worst look ever, because he does have pretty vicious ground and pound, and I could see him like really putting it on Solecki and Solecki just not being able to take more elbows or something like that. I think Aliev can get him out of there with elbows, but don't bet the house on the TKO. But I am gonna pick Aliev by TKO ground and pound. Next fight, guys, is at a women's strawweight. We got Dudakova taking Fatima Kline. Now, I was pretty high on Fatima Kline. I was actually thinking about betting against Jasmine Jasowicz, but I'm happy I didn't do it because I was at 125, so I was that kind of helped me back. That fight being at 125, so like you could see, I mean, watching the fight back, and you could see the size played a factor there. Jasmine was able to like clinch her, like use her strength and the physicality and the size she had over Fatima Kline. She was able to use that and the clincher, take her down, and just control her, right? Just control her on the clinch. But every time they're range, man, Fatima Kline was looking sick. She's landing strikes, staying busy on the feet. And I think at 115 at her natural weight class, I want that straw weight. I do think she's gonna look a lot better. She's not gonna have trouble with the size like she did at 125. And she's gone 4 rounds before in the cage for UFC. They do like championship fights. If it's 2-2, then they go into the 5th round. But if it's like if it's the one person's up like 3 rounds, then they'll just end the fight after 4 rounds. So like that's what happens in cage for UFC. And she's got 2 belts in cage for UFC, which is pretty solid. I don't know, the level of opposition isn't really that great. In all fairness, I mean, if you look at the level of opposition, this girl's like 5 feet tall. This girl's like 5'2", 5 foot tall. Like all these girls are like pretty tiny. And I do think their skills, her skills alone, like is gonna get her this win. So I'm gonna go Fatima Kline. I do think she's gonna win this fight. I do like her striking more, and I like her grappling more. I think she's more dangerous when it comes to submissions, and I think her takedown defense is a lot better than Dudakova. And I could see Fatima Kline getting takedowns in Dudakova pretty easy. And also she trains with Blanchfield, right? I think Aaron Blanchfield and Fatima Kline are partners, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe they're friends. I don't know what's really going on, but I know they're trained together. So at least Fatima Kline has really good training partners and Aaron Blanchfield. So I'm gonna pick Fatima Kline. I'm gonna pick her by decision. I don't think she's finishing. Maybe she could lock in a submission. I mean, there's definitely a possibility, but I'm gonna pick Fatima Kline just to control the fight on the feet and the ground. I mean. Next fight on the card, we got Magomed Gadzhiyasulov taking on Bruno Lopes, guys. I'm gonna pick Magomed Gadzhiyasulov. I know he hasn't really been that impressive. He's 9-0, or 2-0 in the UFC, both decisions. I mean, just like I get it. Not finishing Jose Medina. I mean, like Jose Medina just tough as nails, man. That guy's got crazy toughness. That's not even like that. It is what it is, right? Like he's 30-27 and beat him pretty easy. And he beat Brenson Barrow. Brenson Barrow had some success with the leg kicks, and like he actually had a guillotine at one point on second round. But Magomed showed, man, the guy's tough. He's not easy just finish out there. So like at least you know that much. At least you know this guy can like fight through submission attempts, not just gonna panic and tap out, right? Like I like that from Gadzhiyasulov. I think Brenson kind of gassed out in that one, to be honest. But Brenson knocked out Lopes, right? Like, and I just if Lopes wasn't knocked down in that last fight on the contender series by Mikhail, who's like okay kickboxer, but like come on, like you're getting dropped by every time you're in contender series, you're taking a jump up in level opposition, and you're getting dropped every time. That's not good. And I don't want to see. It's not good to see Lopes getting dropped again. It was a flash knockdown almost, but he was able to recover. Like Lopes is pretty tough though. He's short. He can recover. He can like come back and like fight through adversity. But I just think Gadzhiyasulov is gonna be much quicker. He's gonna be faster. He's gonna be. I think he's gonna stay more busy on the feet. Lopes is kind of slow. I don't think he's got the best speed. He does have power though. You can knock him out maybe if he catches him clean with a counter. But I do think Gadzhiyasulov is gonna be just a little bit quicker. And I don't know. Even if it comes to BJJ, if they start grappling, I think I kind of favor Lopes if there's a submission attempt. I could see Bruno Lopes being the one with the submission attempt, but I am gonna pick Ghazi Magomed. I just think it's better, cleaner, and I think he's going to be prepared for this matchup. Next matchup is Ernesta Kareckaite, guys. Kareckaite versus Nicoli Caliari, and this one's a tough fight, guys. This one's a tough fight to make a pick on because Kareckaite, I like her striking race. He's like 5'9", probably one of the biggest fighters at flyweight at this weight class in women's MMA. Like 5'9" is crazy at women's MMA flyweight. But yeah, she doesn't really use her reach that well. Like her takedown defense has kind of been kind of questionable. Like she's getting taken on to Barboza early. Like she's getting controlled early. Like even Barboza had a submission attempt, but Kareckaite's tough, man. She's tough. She's able to avoid the submission attempt from Barboza. She's able to fight her way through submission attempts. So like I think she could have won that fight. I mean, it was fairly close. It was fairly close. It could have gone either way. In all honesty, I mean. Nicole Caliari, she's 28 years old. I mean, she's young. She's actually older than Kareckaite, which is crazy to me. But yeah, I think she's the stronger grappler. This is the grapple. I think Caliari is going to be stronger in the grappling exchanges. And she's got more BJJ race. She's got more understanding on the ground, like where she can go for submissions and like maybe take her back, or like she's more than willing to like play that guard game and like go for submissions off her back. And that's the way Caliari fights. And yeah, I can't pick her here, guys. I can't pick her. I was gonna pick her as a plus 200 underdog. I mean, the odds are crazy, and they are. I'll be honest, the odds are really crazy here. I don't think Kareckaite should be minus 200 or minus 250, whatever she's at right now. But I am gonna pick Kareckaite. I do think the reach advantage. I mean, 10-inch reach advantage is crazy. Almost 10-inch reach advantage. I mean, the height advantage is pretty crazy too. So Caliari is gonna have to get those fights to the mat. She can't get it to the mat if she's having a hard time submitting Kareckaite early. I think Kareckaite is gonna be just landing way more volume, doing more damage on the feet, and landing high kicks, knees up the middle. I'm gonna pick Kareckaite to win. I think she's gonna win by decision. Next fight on the card, guys, we've got Preston Parsons taking on Jacoby Smith. Now this should be a fun match. This should be a pretty fun matchup. Parsons Pressure Parsons. I mean, I'm fucking messing up his name, but that's what his name is. Pressure. The nickname Pressure is because he puts pressure on people. I mean, it's pretty simple, right, to understand. But Parsons was supposed to take on Andreas Gustafsson. I think it was Andreas Gustafsson. So Gustafsson's out now. He's fighting. Yeah, it was Andreas Gustafsson. And I was actually gonna favor maybe Parsons in that matchup because I was like, maybe he can counter Gustafsson's forward pressure and aggressiveness, but maybe mixing in takedowns here and there. But now he's fighting Jacoby Smith, who's known for that wrestling. Jacoby Smith is known for that wrestling. I mean, his striking is getting better, but he's actually known for like taking guys down and like doing pretty much the same thing that Parsons does, right? But Jacoby Smith has power. He can land ground and pound. His ground and pound wishes more than Preston Parsons. But like where I would favor Preston Parsons maybe in the BJJ, I think submission's a little bit better than Jacoby Smith. And maybe his wrestling, I don't know. I don't know whose wrestling is better. Jacoby Smith obviously is coming in a short notice, but I'm sure he's been preparing. I'm sure the UFC told him just keep training. We'll call you up sometime. I mean, that's what happens. A lot of these guys that win on Dana White Industries, they get called up for short notice fights when the UFC needs someone to step up. And Jacoby Smith's here, guys. He's stepping up in short notice. And man, from what I've seen from Jacoby Smith, I actually like from what I've seen from Jacoby Smith. He's patient. He's got cardio. He can go longer. He's not just gonna go out there and like look for a first round finish. If he doesn't get a first round finish, he's toast. It's not like that with Smith. Man, Parsons is my dude, man. I remember my hair, guys. I used to have long hair, guys. So the story with my hair was I bet my hair on Preston Parsons when he fought Open Elliott. So like I had to go bald because of Preston Parsons, and now Jacoby Smith's gonna fucking get it back for me. He's gonna finish Preston Parsons, guys. I got a feeling that Jacoby Smith maybe he doesn't finish him with ground and pound. I could see Preston Parsons staying in there. He's tough, man. Man, I don't know. I'm gonna go to Jacoby Smith by decision. I'm gonna say decision. I don't know. I don't know if I see him finishing Preston Parsons. Preston Parsons has been finished before, but man, I'm gonna go Jacoby Smith by decision. Next fight on the card, guys. We got Thiago Moisés taking on Troy Ogden. This should be a really good matchup. This should be a really fun matchup. Where was I? Okay, there we go. Trey Ogden versus Moisés. So Moisés only been losing to some of the better guys in this weight class. I mean, with Makhachev, he actually took down Makhachev, which is impressive that he took down Makhachev. Um, Only two people have taken on Makhachev in UFC, and one of them was Arman Sarukian when he got him down once, and the other time was Moisés when he took him down the second round. I mean, I know he lost that fight. He got submitted in the fourth round, but still taking on Makhachev is pretty impressive in my opinion. Now he's fighting Trey Ogden, man. Trey Ogden is a he's definitely a sneaky man. Trey Ogden is sneaky. Like he knows how to win fights with his grappling, and he's able to use his cardio, his veteran savviness, and that's the way he's been able to win, right? Like Joe Hooper, he took on Joe Hooper. That was Joe Hooper's UFC debut, by the way. And he actually outstruck Joe Hooper, which is shocking. I mean, like I just didn't expect Joe Hooper like to get outstruck by Trey Ogden. Maybe Joe Hooper was nervous coming in. That might have something to do with that. Then he was beating up Nicholas Mota, bro. He was actually like outstriking him. He was clearly outstriking Nicholas Mota. Then he went for a submission on Mota, which he was gonna get that submission. I have no doubt that Trey Ogden was gonna finish Mota with that submission there. But I think it might have been Mike Beltran that called it early. I can't remember which referee it was. It was Mike Beltran. Yeah, it was Mike Beltran that called that fight early. Then my memory's crazy. I can't believe I just remember that. But Mike Beltran was the referee for that one, so they didn't run him back. They gave him Holloway. He was able to take down Holloway. It was pretty boring. I mean, it was a really boring fight, but he took down Holloway. He took down Loic Rajabov. On the feet, I mean, Ogden wasn't looking comfortable on the feet, but that's gonna happen when you're fighting a guy like Loic Rajabov, who's huge for the weight class. Now he's fighting Thiago Moisés. Moisés has been pretty solid, man. Moisés has been pretty solid. I don't know. I don't know if I'm like still if I still think Moises is that next dude. Like is he like a gatekeeper at 155? I'm not even sure about that anymore. Like he can beat a lot of guys. I mean, he's beat guys like Chernaldo, like Bobby Green. I mean, those are pretty good wins. Malcojo Costa, like those are pretty solid. I think that's Costa's UFC debut, by the way. Mitch Ramirez, like that was used. I think that's Mitch Ramirez's UFC debut, by the way. He got beat up by Benoit Santoni in France. I mean, Alvarez. I think all these guys that beat Moises, they all beat Trey Ogden. I would pick Ludwig Kline over Ogden. I think Ludwig Kline would be like minus 400, minus 300. Benoit Santoni would be like minus 200 over Ogden. Alvarez would be like minus 600. I think minus 800. Moksha would be like minus 20,000 probably. So all these guys are that Moises is losing to, man. They're not like it makes sense why he's losing to those guys. I mean, it kind of makes sense to me. Trey Ogden, I mean, look at Trey Ogden's record. Like he's sneaky, man. He's definitely been sneaky. He's getting wins. Like he's been able to get it done most of the time. The Jordan Levitt fight, I was watching Jordan Levitt fight. He was having trouble taking on Jordan Levitt. He just kind of got outstruck on the feet by Jordan Levitt, which is kind of shocking. The fact that he outstruck Joe Huber and these other guys, but he's getting outstruck by Jordan Levitt. Like I don't know where to put Trey Ogden. I might just pick Trey Ogden here. I'm going to pick Trey Ogden. I'm going to pick Trey Ogden to win. I think this could be a close fight. If Moises doesn't submit him, it could be really close. I could see Moises, like, he's younger, right? Moises is a lot younger, so I get it why the odds makers are favoring Moises, but I haven't really been crazy about Moises. I know he's only lost some of the better guys in this weight class, but I still don't think he's that good. Give me Trey Ogden as underdog. Next fight on the card, we got Mirko Tulio, guys. Mirko Tulio taking on Potieria. I'm going to pick Mirko Tulio, guys. This is a pretty easy pick for me. Mirko Tulio coming in with the cardio advantage, the gas, I mean, the pace, the striking. I think he's got more versatile striking than Potieria. I do believe that, I mean. And what was I gonna say? Yeah, Tulio, like he fought on the International Series twice, right? He took on UC Belgori, a Glory kickboxer. I think that's Boyton's boy. They train at Glover. I think they trains with Glover, UC Belgori. And the only reason he get a contract because it was a pretty lackluster fight. It was not entertaining to watch, in all fairness. And then he got the spinning back kick to the body. I think to the liver almost. That was kind of sneaky liver spinning back to the liver. I mean, by Mirko Tulio. Then he got a contract this last year. But Tulio's been okay. He got a few wins. I mean, he got like 2 wins in UFC. Mauricio Hua. I guess he beat a British chick who's kind of a fraud from Ogden. I do think British chick is a fraud. I don't think Tulio's a fraud. I think Tulio. I'm pretty confident Tulio. I think Tulio's gonna win. He's gonna knock him out. Probably second on. I'm gonna say second on Tulio knockout. Next fight on the card, we got Jose Johnson, guys. Jose Johnson taking on Felipe Bunes, and man, this is gonna be I don't know, but I don't know what to make about this fight. I mean, I'm not really high on either one of these guys. I'll be honest with you guys, but Felipe Bunes, I mean, his last two losses are like we can give him a break for the last two losses. Juicier for Migo. For Miga, I mean, that guy's. I'm sure you guys probably remember if you've been watching UFC for like over like probably like 10 years at this point. You guys probably remember this guy. He's got wins over Pantoja. He's got wins over Figueiredo. I mean, Formiga was that guy back then. He's still that guy. I mean, he can still beat some of these guys. I mean, I guess he beat Bunes back in 2022. I didn't even know he's fighting another fist still, but I guess he's still fighting. But yeah, I think Johnson, being a former bantamweight, is gonna help him here, man. I think Felipe Bunes is gonna have to take him down and maybe you can knock him out with something crazy if you can hit him with a clean shot. But I just don't see it, man. I just don't see it. I just see Jose Johnson, even though I don't think Jose Johnson's all that good, but I think Jose Johnson has better wrestling and control and a backpack, and obviously being 6 feet tall can help you right in those positions when you're wrestling with guys who are like almost like Felipe Wind is not that tall, but he's pretty powerful. He's got good striking. Like cardio is the problem for Felipe Wind. I'm gonna pick Jose Johnson. I actually think he looked better in that Almeida fight. He didn't look horrible. I think that was a 29-28. Maybe it was a 30-27, but I think that's 29-28. This isn't for Almeida. And I remember Jose Johnson taking Almeida's back and like looking for submissions on Almeida, like which is impressive to me. I think Johnson can use his size and beat Felipe Bunes. So I'm gonna pick Johnson. I'm pretty confident Johnson. Next fight on the card, we got Punahele Soriano, guys, versus Medic. This fight's at 170. Punahele, since moving on to 170 from 185, he's looked a lot better in all honestly. But beating Miguel Baeza really doesn't tell me a lot. I mean, but he almost finished. He should have finished that fight. I mean, the referee just didn't want to stop the fight. That fight should have been stopped in probably like 10 times if I'm being honest with you guys. I gotta get this breakdown done in like the next 10 minutes. So we're gonna run through this, guys. I'm gonna pick Medic. I think he's gonna be quicker. He's gonna be faster in the striking, and I think he got nice knees up the middle, nice high kicks. He's got really good counter strike. He's gonna be taller, and he's gonna be. He's not gonna have the reach advantage here. Soriano is gonna have the reach advantage. Soriano's gonna have to mix in takedowns. He's gonna have to like mix in takedowns, land some of his overhand right side throws with some big power. Maybe clip Medic. Medic can be clipped before. I remember him losing to. He was losing to early exchanges to Medic. Not Medic. I mean Matthew Smoothberger. And then he eventually came back and won that fight. He showed he's tough. He can go through some adversity. I mean, and Soriano, if he had submission game, like if he had a BJJ game, I'd probably pick him here maybe because if he was able to get takedowns, maybe he can submit a Medic. But I don't think he's gonna submit Medic. I think Medic, even if he gets taken on, he's gonna be able to work his way back up. And once he's back up, man, he's gonna be much quicker with the kicks, with the counter striking. I think he's gonna have more power than Soriano. And even though Soriano is a firmer middleweight, I still think Meta is going to be better when it comes to fight IQ and just being more busy on the feet. I mean, with those knees at the middle, those leg kicks, those high kicks, and I think he's got nice counter striking. So Medic is definitely the pick here. The only thing I'm worried about, obviously, is Soriano just being able to hold him on, which I don't think he's going to be able to hold him down for that long. But you never know, man. Medic has dealt with those problems before. So you gotta be careful. You're parlaying him. You gotta think about Soriano maybe like coming in here and just like wrestling, not really even trying to strike at all with Medic. But I think he's gonna be able to strike with him. I don't think Medic's completely done. Give me Medic. I'm gonna say Medic by TKO. Next fight on the card, we got Austin Bashi, guys. Austin Bashi taking on C-Rod, Christian Rodriguez. Now this should be a fun matchup. This really should be a fun matchup. So they're both pretty much the same. Bashi is more of a grappler, whereas Rodriguez is more of a striker. Rodriguez doesn't really wrestle all that much. Mostly he's wrestling defensively when you're the one trying to take him down. He'll get taken on early, but he's been able to like get these wins because he's been able to survive the first round and like drag the fight on longer and like kind of make his way back into the fight. I mean, even though I don't think he won the Dugarian fight, I had Dugarian as lock of the week. Dugarian should have won that, but it was close. So I kind of get it why they gave it to C-Rod, because Dugarian was just like he was just so tired. His head was on the ground. He was covering up and all that. Like, it doesn't look good that doesn't look good for the judges. I mean, I think Bashi is more of a like he's more than only strike with you, then he'll mix some takedowns behind it. And he doesn't even have to get the submission early. He doesn't even have to get the first round submission. You can just like he'll like shoot takedowns, a bunch of takedowns, then he'll like get a takedown, then like control you. If you work your way back up, he'll strike with you, then he'll like go back to wrestling when you think he's gonna strike with you. Like that's the tricky thing about Austin Bashi. And he's only 23, man. He's only 23 years old, 5'6" with a 70-inch reach. Rodriguez does have the UFC experience. I mean, all these guys that Bassi's been fighting. I mean, I don't think these guys are that good. Like Riley's okay, but even Jack Riley's not really the guy. He's not that good. Asker isn't really not that good, but he's probably the better one, the better opponents that he's fought. But I don't think he's that good either. But I think he's got potential. I think Bassi has potential. We obviously we bet him by submission on contender series because this guy Dorian Ramos, I think he took that fight on short notice if I'm not mistaken. Bassi was supposed to fight someone else on he was supposed to fight Tommy McMillan. Yeah, okay, he was supposed to fight Tommy McMillan on contender series. So I guess that fight ended up being canceled. So McMillan had an injury, so he took down Dorian Ramos, who's really not that good in my opinion. So I don't know what to make about Bassi. I mean, is he really that good? Is he gonna be able to submit Rodriguez? I know Rodriguez is coming off a submission loss to Julian Rosa, but Julian Rosa's he's been in the UFC for so long and he's got so much experience. And if you don't knock out Julian Rosa, he's gonna be a tricky guy to deal with. And Julian Rosa is way bigger than T-Rod. Once I've seen the first round, I mean them like next to each other, I could see like this is not gonna go well for my boy T-Rod. And Rosa was up to he was 6 feet. Rosa 6'1". That's pretty crazy. 6'1" with a 74-inch reach. That's crazy. The guy's so big. I don't know how he makes 145. So this one's like, I'm gonna pick Rodriguez. I'm gonna pick Rodriguez. I'm gonna pick the underdog Rodriguez. Odds are kind of crazy. If Bassi goes out there, proves me wrong, I mean, so be it. I'll be like, okay, this guy is not someone you can sleep on, right? I'm not even sleeping on him as much. I do think he's pretty good, but this is like one of those fights where you got to prove it to me. You got to prove it against T-Rod. If he goes out there, proves it against T-Rod, I'll be like, okay, this guy is not really like at +2, like -235, -215, bro. The odds are pretty crazy for me right now for Bassi, but I think this is one of the better opponents that he's fighting in his career, and I do think C-Rod has been there. He's fought a bunch of grapplers before, the guys that do pretty much the same thing. But yeah, I'm gonna favor C-Rod. He's been in the Apex so many times. He's fought in the Apex over time and time again. I think his last fight was the first fight in front of a crowd, and he lost. Right, this fight was an Apex. This was an Apex. I think this was an Apex. Give me C-Rod. I'm gonna pick C-Rod as underdog. Not really crazy confident there, but I'm gonna lean towards C-Rod there. I don't think Bassi's finishing him. If he finishes C-Rod, like if he comes in his UFC debut and finishes him, then Bassi's the real deal. I mean, he's definitely the real deal. Yeah, me picking C-Rod is not really me like saying that Bassi's not good. It's just more of me like having Bassi prove it in UFC. Like if you prove it in UFC in your UFC debut, I'll be like, okay, this guy, I'm not gonna fade him anymore. But I'm gonna pick C-Rod for now. I just like experience, and the size isn't that much of a factor. Like when he's fighting guys that aren't that like physical, I mean, like he can do pretty well. Like Rosa is like 6'1", right? Like that's a tough matchup to prepare for. Next fight on the card, we got Chris Curtis, the Crybaby versus Roman Kopylov, guys. Chris Curtis, the Crybaby. I remember I bet money on Imavov, and Chris Curtis was losing that fight. He was losing the whole fight, and then I think maybe there was a headbutt in there. Like maybe it wasn't even that crazy of a headbutt, but yeah, he just didn't want to fight anymore. He's like I was crying and this and that. Like I don't like Chris Curtis. I'll tell you guys right now before my breakdown. I'm not even gonna lie. I was actually thinking about picking Chris Curtis to win this fight, and I'm not gonna pick him just because even though I think he's got a pretty good chance. I just think Kopylov is going to be much quicker, and his kicks, man. Chris Curtis is mostly a boxer. He doesn't really kick that much, and when he's fighting someone that can kick, that can stay at range and just pick him apart, Imavov, Hermanson, Brendan Allen can do the same thing. I mean, but that Brendan Allen fight was fairly close, but he was getting hurt to the body, like towards the end of the fight. He got hurt to the body, like that doesn't look good for the judges. I mean. But that Brendan Allen fight was fairly close. But Allen's not really a striker. It's more of a grappler that learned how to strike later on. But Kopylov is a striker that learned how to defend takedowns. And this is a good matchup for Kopylov, I feel like. Definitely a jump up in the rankings. Yeah, he took on Anthony Hernandez. That's a tough matchup, Hernandez. He looked good early. Like I think he defended like 8 takedowns against Hernandez in the first round. And he took that fight on short notice. So that's pretty impressive in all honesty. that he took that Hernandez on short notice and was able to defend all takedowns in the first round. You got taken on the second round, obviously, but Hernandez is one of those guys that's crazy gas tank, and like he'll keep shooting takedowns. Doesn't matter how many takedowns he's gonna miss. He took on Josh Frem. I mean, Josh Frem is a bum. All these other guys are like kind of bums. I mean, point of hell to Soriano is kind of a bum. But I think Chris Curtis he's been in the top 50 for a long time, so definitely not an easy fight for Kopylov, but I do see Kopylov getting it done. I think Kopylov's gonna win, and he's gonna win by decision. I don't think he's knocking out Chris Curtis. Kopylov by decision is gonna be the pick there. Next fight on the card, guys, we got Abdul Razak Alhassan taking on Cesar Almeida. No, this could be a really good fight, man. This could be a really good fight. So Almeida's not. Have I really been impressed with Almeida in the UFC? Man, he's only got 7 fights overall. So like, I guess I can say like he's been okay, but haven't really seen the knockout. I mean, hasn't really been the most exciting guy about Almeida. I mean, that's what I'm talking about Almeida. Obviously, Alhassan has been exciting. He's got 6 KOs, all first round KOs. He's got like 12 wins and all like 12 wins in the first round KO. All 12 wins by first round knockout. I mean, that's pretty crazy. 6 wins in the UFC, all 6 wins by knockout. So I was watching Almeida's fights back, and I was watching the only time I've seen him get hurt, it was against Kopylov. Kopylov dropped him in the first round, and he was trying to finish him. Then Almeida recovered pretty well. He recovered pretty well. He got right back up, and he was back in the fight right away. But obviously the problem was the takedown defense, right? He kept getting taken on by Kopylov, and he just wasn't able to defend takedowns against Kopylov. And he was starting to take over that fight. If he was able to defend takedowns in that third round, I think Almeida would have been 7-0 right now if it wasn't for those takedowns in the third round from Kopylov. But yeah, Alhassan, I haven't really seen him wrestle much. He's mostly just a guy that's gonna go out there, use his brute athleticism, and just like maybe land something crazy, like some big shots, and they can put you away. I do think Alhassan has more power than Almeida. I do think Almeida's a better kickboxer. And Alhassan maybe can mix some takedown. I remember him taking on Buckley in the third round. That was Buckley wasn't really in his prime then. But Alhassan is not bad, man. He's actually not a bad fighter. He's actually hurting Joe Pyfer with those leg kicks, because Alhassan, every time he throws a strike, it's got power. I mean, just every time Alhassan throws anything out there, it's got power behind. He's trying to knock you out. He's trying to like kill you pretty much. Whereas Almeida is just trying to like touch and go, touch and go. Like he's trying to like score points. Whereas obviously Alhassan is trying to like put you out. I do like Almeida's kickboxing more. I think he's got more weapons. I think he's got better cardio. I think he's got better durability. Doesn't have experience obviously as Alhassan, but obviously he's 10 years younger. He's not 10 years younger. He's actually like only like 3 years younger. That's not even that crazy. Man, I'm gonna have to go with Almeida. I just think the cardio and maybe he's gonna win, but the odds are pretty fucking crazy. Minus 300 for Almeida. Like, are you guys really that confident in Almeida? Like minus 300? I don't know about that. I don't know about minus 300 Almeida, but I do think he's got more past victory. I would have Almeida like minus 180, minus 200 maybe, not minus 300. But I am gonna pick Almeida. I think the over 1.5 is probably not the worst play there. Next fight on the card is Santiago Ponzinibbio taking on Carlson Harris. No, this is gonna be a pretty good matchup. Carlson Harris let me down in the last matchup against who was he taking? He took on Chaos Williams. I mean, like, so that was just a tough matchup for Carlson Harris. I feel like Chaos Williams is good takedown defense, and on the feet, I mean, Harris he's more known for his grappling, obviously, but he's a striker. I think every time I watch him fight, he doesn't really wrestle all that much unless you're the one wrestling him, then he'll like look for submissions like he was able to do with Jeremiah Walls. Jeremiah Walls was winning that fight for like the first I think 13 minutes of that fight. Then he got caught at banana kind of choke, and Harris wasn't able to defend any takedowns. So I don't know. With Harris is really tricky because you don't know like is he gonna be able to defend takedowns? What was I gonna say? Is he gonna be able to defend takedowns here? Like Santiago wrestles, and he was wrestling in that Muslim Solecki fight. Wasn't really able to hold him down for long though. But he was able to mix in takedowns from time to time. Like every end towards the end of the run, I remember Santiago mixing in takedowns. And I remember most people thinking that he won that fight over Solecki, but I was watching that fight back and I don't think he did. I think Solecki was just landing the better strikes at range. And obviously Solecki was a tricky guy to fight, right? And yeah, I think Solecki won that fight in all honesty. Like even though I picked Santiago Ponzinibbio to win on the scorecards. And He beat Alex Morono, but I remember him losing that early exchanges in that fight. He was losing the whole fight before he found that finish. I mean, before he caught Alex Morono with the overhand, with the nasty overhand right that he put him out with. So this one's I don't know about this fight. I don't know how to rate Harris. Like, he's not that horrible. I feel like he's 4-2 in UFC. That's pretty good. Pretty good record. Getting knocked out by Gerald Hussein Ali is not good. I don't want to see that. I mean, obviously. Then his wins over Jeremiah Walls. I mean, Jared Gooden. Jeremiah Walls is not horrible, but he's kind of like, he's not really on a good run right now. Jared Gooden's horrible. I don't know how he made it back to UFC. In all honesty, getting knocked out by Shavkat, it's like, no, whatever, right? That's gonna happen when you're fighting Shavkat. Santiago hasn't looked good in so long, so like I don't know how to judge Santiago Ponzinibbio. Like I remember when he knocked out Neil Magny, and Santiago wasn't his prime back then, but I don't know about it anymore. But I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm gonna lean towards Santiago here. I'm gonna lean towards Santiago. I think Santiago is striking in the forward pressure. Maybe could give Carlson Harris some problems, but yeah, I'm gonna lean towards Santiago here. I just like his striking more, and I don't know. I just like his striking more. I don't think I can see Carlson Harris knocking him out or anything like that. So, oh man, I don't even know. I don't know. I guess like just pick your side. I guess for betting this fight, I'm gonna rock with the Ponzinibbio for now. Guys, main event of the evening. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. We're getting close to 3K subscribers, and let's get there soon. We got Dern versus Ribas. This is the rematch, by the way, guys. If you guys didn't know, they fought each other like 6 years ago, back in 2019, and yeah, it was really. I mean, it was basically what happened in that fight. Basically, was so Dern was trying to take her down. Like, obviously, Dern doesn't really have the best wrestling. Back then, I mean, her wrestling was actually worse than it is now. I feel like wrestling isn't that great right now either, but it's definitely gotten better, and striking's gotten better than it used to be. Like 6 years ago, it's a long time in MMA. So I do think Dern has gotten better. I think striking's gotten better. I think her wrestling has gotten just a little bit better, but I don't think it's that crazy. And obviously, the Ribas was able to like just outstrike her. I mean, the fight on the feet wasn't even close. It was just one way traffic for Ribas. And Ribas was able to she was able to get her own takedowns with judo throws. Like, as Dern was trying to go for takedowns, Ribas was able to like reverse her, get reversals, get sweeps. I mean, like, she's like, Ribas's jiu-jitsu is no joke, man. Ribas grappling is no joke. And I'm gonna pick Ribas here. I do think Ribas is more well-rounded. I think the striking is a little bit better, is more precise. And at least I don't know if she's got crazy power, but I do think Ribas has got more power than Dern. And I just think her striking is just a little bit more technical than Dern. And I think at 115, I think she's gonna look a lot better. Like, every time she fights at 125, man, that's where like she's having trouble. 125. Macy Barber, that was at 125. Namajunas was at 125. I think this was at 115. Pinero. Was that 115 or 125? I can't remember. But I think this was at 125, right? Or 115. This was at 115. Strawweight, Vivian Arujo. That might have been at 125. Yeah, that was at 125. Beating Jandiroba, that looks good for her. Jandiroba win. I mean, Jandiroba's going to be fighting for the belt soon. Getting knocked out by Marina Rodriguez, that's going to happen when you're fighting one of the better strikers in the weight class. Macy Barber loss was not horrible. She was actually looking pretty good in that fight early on in the first round. And she's got a clip right. I mean, she's had chin issues. I mean, they both had chin issues. Dern is kind of chinny. Ribas is kind of chinny. They both have had chin issues for a long time. But I'm gonna favor Ribas. I do like Ribas's. I don't like her odds. I mean, there's if they fought back in December last year, the odds are, I think they were even money, almost minus 110, and now it's minus 210 for Ribas. So it's actually kind of crazy, the odds. I do think it's going to go the distance, guys. I do think this was going to go the distance. Over 4.5 rounds is not a bad play here. But I am going to favor Ribas. I do think Ribas is going to win. I don't think she's going to get... it could be close, though. It could be 49, 48, 47, maybe, if it goes the distance. But Ribas, I think she's going to be able to separate herself when it comes to the striking. I think it's gonna have the better moments in the striking exchanges. And her wrestling, I think, is good enough for her. So she's going to be able to keep it on the feet. Maybe Dern can take her down a few times, but I don't think it's really going to matter that much. But Yeah, you can't be too confident. This is WMA, right? WMA main event 5 rounds. I mean, if it goes distance, you gotta hope judges get it right. I'm really kind of confident he bus. I am kind of confident he bus. I think he bus is gonna get this one done. So guys, there you guys go. Those are my full card predictions. Let's go over the predictions once again. I'm picking he bus in the main event, Ponzinibbio in the co-main, Almeida, Kopylov, Steerod, Urs Medic, Jose Johnson, Marco Tulio, Ray Ogden, Jacoby Smith, Ernesto Kareckaite, Magomed Gadzhiyasulov. I'm picking Fight Kline. I'm picking Nerlo Aliev. So those are my full card predictions, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And I want to thank all the members on the channel, guys. I appreciate you guys' support on the channel every month. And also, if you guys want to check out my bets, you guys can check the link in the description. All my bets are there. We're up 70 units last year in profit. I mean, that's profit alone. And it's not even counting the long shot parlay that I play on the cards either. We had a crazy long shot parlay on the last UFC card, UFC Tampa, like $10 to win $1,800. I mean, I posted it in Discord. You guys can check it out. We don't hit long shot parlays like that often, but you can hit those once in a while. I mean, it feels nice hitting a crazy plus 18,000 parlay, but those are not safe. You shouldn't be playing those every card. You gotta just play one like every month or something like that. Just you can get lucky from time to time. It was a 16 fighter parlay, so I'm pretty happy with that. I'm happy with how last year 2024 went for us. Hopefully we can make this year better. We can pick better spots, and hopefully we have another really good year. So good luck on all your bets, guys. If you have a question, you can always join my Discord. There's a link in the description for Discord. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Later, guys. Good luck on all your bets, and stay safe out there, stay healthy, and enjoy the New Year's 2025. Later, guys.